Hey up pond lovers, so yeah, just arrived at the National Koi Show. So without further ado, let's just get out and go and have a look around. So yeah, yesterday was a fantastic day at the show. I apologise I didn't get any footage done, but it took me about 6 hours I think to walk round. So massive thank you to everyone that I met, everyone I spoke to. It was an absolutely fantastic day. I'm not going to name you all because there was way too many. Got a few mugs which you'll see in an up and coming video. I do want to say though, I did meet Maureen, who flew all the way over from America, from Keefer's Koi Heaven. And if you haven't seen her channel, go and check it out. Built an amazing, lovely new pond in a fantastic area in America. So get over and check her out. And yeah, just a fantastic day. So all the subscribers that come over and said hello, brilliant to meet you. Hello to all the YouTubers that we met. But as you can see, I'm in the little pond. The Boxweld Liner was delivered on Friday before the show. It's now Monday. I've got an extra day off today, so I am going to try and get the Boxweld Liner in here. So I'm just scraping off a bit more of the loose stuff. I mean, this stuff is as tough as old boots. It really is. I mean, it's a thick rubber liner. Technically, although it doesn't seem to bond very well to fiberglass, and I think that's down to the stuff in the gel coat. I think if you sanded it right back, you might be okay. But technically, you could use this as a Boxweld liner, put it on something it doesn't stick to, such as gel coat, peel it all off in one go, and that would make an absolutely fantastic Boxweld liner. I mean, this stuff is strong as anything. It just didn't stick to the fiberglass. But yeah, very interesting feeling material. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, it's really weird. But tough as old boots though. So yeah, going to try and get the Boxweld liner dropped in here. Found a flange for the, not sure if it's the right one, unless there's so much CT1 and fiberglass in there the hole shrunk. I don't know, but it's the only one I seem to have, so I assume it was originally the right one. Don't know, but I'm going to stick that on there, and then the little thing that came with me Tommy drain, that'll go on there, and then I'm still putting my metal grate over the top, so I'm going to chop these bits off just so I can screw that into there. So I need my drill because obviously it's got fiberglass and now liquid liner and everything over the top, so there's no way I'm going to refine the holes. So we'll get that done, and then I'll snap back to you. Just prepping everything, cleaning up and everything, but just to show you how well the fiberglass didn't bond to the floor. Obviously this is a bit of rubber I've just peeled up, but yeah, we watch the fiberglass underneath. Don't know if you can even hear or see that, but this whole section of floor is moving. It's not. Oh well. Good job I'm going for a liner, eh? But yeah, that's all the holes pre-drilled there, and that's all the holes pre-drilled there. Right guys, so that's everything clean and prepped, ready to go. Let me show you what I've done. So I've scraped all the sealant back off the window, all the way round, pretty much as I can. All nice and clean with some straight lines, which is great. That gives the liner then something to actually bond onto. I've just cleaned the window with this stuff, and I tell you what, that is some good stuff. That was thank you to Daniel from the Peterborough Koi Club, gave me that to fit this window, and luckily there's just a little bit left to clean the window today. As you can see, hoovers outside, I've vacuumed the floor, I've scrubbed around the bottom drain where it's going to be glued,
the liquid liner has bonded really well to that area. That area isn't so good. Obviously that area is completely off the wall. I've managed to peel off all the liquid liner that was around this. What's left is just the original MS300, and that is stuck like Billio, so that ain't coming off. So a bit more MS300 around that, and then I've cleaned right the way around the top. As you can see, it's kind of a different colour where it's been scrubbed, and that is because obviously copings are on now. Can't really fold the lip over, so what I'm going to have to do is try and glue it along there. That's going to be fun, but hey ho, this will be watertight one day. And I tell you what, if this doesn't work, I haven't got no more money to do it, because these liners are not cheap. Although another massive shout out to Carl, because of the issues with the liquid liner, he did give me a little discount off the Boxweld liner, but even so, they are not cheap, even with a discount. It was 3.5 years ago I think I dropped the liner in that one, and technically if I didn't have the step, that big pond and this pond would have cost the same in a liner. That's how much things have gone up in 3 years. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Anyway, I am going to unwrap the liner and start putting it in, so I will snap back to you when I get somewhere. So the liner's temporarily in. Let's have a look. We're all in. Found all my corners. Just got to straighten it out as we fill now. And one thing with liners, do take your time. Don't just drop it in and say that will do. Moving it a couple of millimeters that way or a couple of millimeters that way can make a massive difference. But obviously what you're looking for, if you've measured it correctly, you're looking for that to sit in the corner, you're looking for that to sit in the corner, and you can see there the corner is just a little bit further away, so you use up some of your wrinkles. Can't really do that one-handed while I'm on the phone, but yeah, use up some of your wrinkles and make sure that is sitting dead in the corner. So bit of adhesive there. Get rid of that, chuck it out of the pond. But yeah, so most importantly obviously make sure your corners are dead in the corner, like so, and vice versa. I've already checked those two corners like that, and then once you've done that, it's a case of trying to flatten out the base as much as you possibly can. Obviously if you've measured it perfectly, you shouldn't have any wrinkles at all. Now I've got a few wrinkles in here, but because this pond was a real unusual size, it was like 1.677 or 1.673, something like that. They've rounded it up basically to 1.68 or something like that, so it's just over by half a centimetre, which will give me a few wrinkles, but should be able to get rid of every single one during the fill up, fingers crossed. But yeah, obviously as it fills up, you hoik the liner up, pull the corners in, and you should hopefully be clear of wrinkles, fingers crossed. But how am I going to do this? That is the question, because normally obviously you would either tack this down or leave your clamps on, leave your bricks on, cut your window out, put your bottom drain in and fill up with water. Well, obviously mine's not going to be sat like that. Mine's going to be cut and hopefully glued just under the lip of the window, because there is no way these are coming off, because they were glued with MS300. And since I did that video I didn't really mention, but I tell you what, they have stuck like solid. I mean obviously I'm climbing in and out of them, sitting on them and everything. No, they are not going anywhere. So I think what I might do for my situation is I might put some water in the bottom, get all the bottom creases out, get the liner all straight and tucked in at the corners at all the walls. Once that's done, I then cut the window, stick that on, cut that return and stick that on, and drain it all out again and cut the bottom drain, and then stick that on. I think that is my best plan, because if I do the bottom drain today, which is only a quick job, but then I don't really want to be putting water in it straight away to be able to get all the sides straight and glued, because if I try to get that perfect and glue them now, if I've misjudged it by even half a centimetre, 5mm, something like that, obviously the water pressure pulling down and back on the liner in the corners and everything could unstick the glue or put a lot of pressure on the glue, MS300, that's going to be sat along there. So I think that's my best option. Get some water in here and then drain it out later to cut the old bottom drain out at a slightly later date, which will still probably be on this video, but yeah, let's go get some water. Here we go, got water in the bottom drain section, and now it's just, as it fills up, I'm just going to try and remove all the wrinkles from the floor. I'm literally only going to put about 4 or 5 inches in it just to keep the liner taut, so I can cut the window and glue around the sides there, yeah, see how we go. But I'll snap back to you in about half hour once the floor's done. Excuse the noise of the hose pipe, but we are getting there. That's not a wrinkle, that's where it was folded previously, and it's just a marklet, all flat. And there are a couple of wrinkles in mine, and there probably always will be, because of said bottom drain. Obviously my pond slopes into the centre and then it drops down again, which that's not ideal for a liner. You can certainly see though where the rubber liner had all been peeled off. Look, you got the previous line of where the rubber still is. I mean, it's quite a thick lump of rubber there. But hey ho, as long as this old water now, I really don't care anymore. But yeah, I've got a little crease here in that corner, a little crease here in that corner, one in that corner and one in that corner, obviously because that's being pulled down. Good news is I was umming and ahhing whether that's still going to fit with another coating over the top, because obviously it's had fiberglass, then liquid liner, now butyl liner. But yeah, that's all hunky-dory. I've managed to get every other wrinkle out of the floor. Best way to do that as well, guys, it's a bit hard doing it one-handed in the water, but say this was a wrinkle, all you basically do, lift it up at the corner or the edge, wherever you are, and push back into the corner, and do that all the way around. Just grab a bit, lift it up, push it, pull it tight, and just work your way around slowly and surely. Keep doing that, and that gets rid of all your wrinkles as long as you've got your measurements right. Alright, so that's how to fit your Boxweld liner, and we'll get onto the cuts very, very shortly. So here we are with a good, I don't know, 8-9 inches of water. I went in for a bit and come out and it was a bit higher than I wanted it to be, but either way I've managed to tuck it all in correctly around all the sides. I've straightened up the window side nice and straight, and now I'm going to cut the window out. So you've all seen me cut a window out before. Sharp knife, sharp pair of scissors, either or, and just cut as straight as you possibly can. I will snap back to you once I've cut it out. Now there are many ways you can cut your window out. The way I found it easiest last time I did a window is to cut it roughly first, so leave more than you need. As you can see, the brickwork is about 1 inch inch behind there, leave a bit more than you need, just so you can actually then see what you're doing, because when the whole liner's down the whole wall, it's hard to stay straight and true when you can't see what you're behind and what you're doing. So now I can see, I'm going to cut a nice straight line around the whole window. There's my line all cut nice and straight. The neighbour's at it again doing some building work in the garden, so I'm trying to film it in between his racket. But yeah, we're all good. So now it's time to get some MS300 in there and get it stuck. So again, very difficult to film in here, a bit easier on the main pond because they had places I could stick the camera, but I don't unfortunately in this one. So again, I will snap back to you once I've done it. So the window's all glued in, which not the bestest job in the world. If you want to see a better job, watch the video I did on that pond, but it is in. It's relatively neat around the window, so I'm happy about that. The problem I'm going to have is I've already glued that side and cut that side, as you can see, but normally you would adjust the liner on the walls like you did with the floor. Now I'm not going to have that luxury, so I am probably going to end up with a few wrinkles in the liner, but I can't help that. As long as they're not creases, I can live with that. Don't want any creases, but the odd wrinkle I can live with. So yeah, as you can see, there goes my clamp, one of them, putting a bead, big bead along the wall, and then literally all I'm doing is holding the liner over it to start off with, making sure it's nice and tight. Ooh, point the camera in the right direction, making sure it's nice and tight in the corners, making sure the liner itself is touching the copings, and then once I'm happy with where it is, I then squidge that bead from where I put it all the way to the top to seal the liner in at the top, so no splashes can get in behind said liner. And that is pretty much what I'm doing all the way around. So once I've finished, I'll snap back to you again. That side I think is going to look not too bad once I fill it all the way up, and obviously I'm going to get in while I'm filling it up and adjust it as much as I can and just step under me bit of wood. But yeah, it all pushes nice and neat back to the corner, which when it does that, it straightens out the wall, which is good. What I've done for the time being, to make sure it doesn't slip, I've pinned it up as best I can using bits of wood. I've got a cross member going across to the window. It's nice and tight. Now I've not chopped this bit off yet because it was just sagging, just falling down. Couldn't get the bit of wood in quick enough, so held it up with a brick. That's all glued obviously along there. Then I'll just take my knife and just trim along there, and if I need to put a dab of sealant under the lip to seal it off later, I will do. I think the only wrinkles I'm going to have is them two corners there, but yeah, it looks like I should be able to work it out so there's no actual creases, which is good, because wrinkles are not too bad, preferably not on the floor, but wrinkles on the wall is not too bad, just not pretty, whereas creases will harbour dirt, debris, fish. So yeah, you want to try and not have creases on the wall, just wrinkles. But yeah, if you don't have an unsquare pond, because this pond is by no means perfectly square, but yeah, that's what you get for DIY, I suppose. But yeah, I'm finally getting out. It's bloody cold in here. Let the window go off, recheck that. Obviously before filling it up, make sure it's all gone off good, especially after the liquid liner debacle. But I've got no quibbles over the MS300. That's Obviously it's still a new product, but from the tests I've done and things, it's bloody good stuff, so we should be good on the old window. And we all know Carl's sealed in hundreds of windows with this stuff, so I'm pretty sure if there was anything wrong with the MS300 we'd know about it by now. So fingers crossed on that front. So I'm going to get out, going to dry off, and need to do the return. I'm going to redo the return, get out, dry off, yeah, and then I'll snap back to you in a day or two when it's all gone off, and we'll take the wood off and have a look. Snap back to you in a bizzle. So I've drained it back down. I'm quite happy with the floor. It really is quite flat, which is great. As I say, the only real wrinkles are the bit where it pushes down into the bottom drain hole. What looks like wrinkles over here is actually the rubber liner, because it was quite thick. But should have tried to peel a bit more off really, but meh, I just want to get this pond full of water. But hey ho. Right, so I'm going to get that sorted. I did the return yesterday. I might just put an extra bead of sealant around the edge as well, just for the sake of it, when I get the MS300 back out. But it looks like the liner has stuck really good around the edge, so I'll get all the clamps off in a minute and we can have a look at that. And then yeah, that should then be done. Wait for it to go off and then fill it up again. Here we go. So the hole's cut, ready to go. There's a hell of a lot of fiberglass and sealant around there, because yeah, again, that hole is a lot smaller now than the ring. I know normally I show you guys all a step-by-step video on how I do things, but you've all seen me do a bottom drain. If you haven't, get over and check out how I fitted the bottom drain on the main pond, because that was a great step-by-step tutorial. This one, on the other hand, 99.9% of you won't ever be in this situation where you've had it concreted, fiberglassed, liquid linered, and then a Boxweld liner. So there's no point me showing you exactly how I'm going to do it. But same principle, bead of silicone underneath all the way round, bead of silicone around the edge of the top. Screw that down, find me screw holes that are pre-drilled, and that's it. So I will snap back to you all once I've dried up a bit more, cleaned it, and got it done. Little tip though guys, anyone fitting a liner onto a bottom drain, find all your holes first, pierce them all, so that way when you take it off you know exactly what you're doing when it comes to the top half. Oh, and there we have it, all oozed out nicely around this edge, around the middle. So now just smoothing it off, and jobs are good on that one. And as they say in France, voila, that ain't leaking. So all the clamps are off, all the wood's off, and it's holding up quite nicely. And it seems like it's fitted and stuck quite well, which is great, thank God. So all I'm going to do now, trim this off, and then what I'm going to do, using a thinner nozzle, so I've got a spare nozzle ready, is just run a very thin bead right in the corner gap, all the way along, all the way round, just to make sure no splashes or anything can get down behind the liner. And yeah, then that is it. Let it cure, and then fill it up and pray. So I'll snap back to you once I've done that bit. Well, it's not pretty, but it should now be watertight. I've cleaned most of the MS300 off my hands so I can do some filming, but yeah, got a big old bead all the way around, right to the top of the window. That's a bit of a mess. I have got some tidying up to do that I'll do once it's cured. All these big lumps that are sitting on the tile, slice them off with a knife, and then big wipes will take it off the tiles, hopefully. It did the first time when I was using the MS liquid liner, but obviously that's a fair bit weaker than the standard MS300. But yeah, I can't see this leaking. Again, fingers crossed. So yeah, so hopefully finally we've got a watertight pond. That would be nice. But yeah, stay tuned next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the big fill part 3. Oh dear. So yeah, on that note guys, thanks all for watching. If you want to see how to fit a bottom drain and return lines properly, check out these 2 videos over here. Step-by-step guide how to do it. And on that note, we'll catch you on the next one.